Hi everyone, welcome you all in my channel. Let's consciously create our dream life with our own magical paths. And today I'm gonna explain in English what is lack from abundance process and what's its role in manifestation process and what are the advantages to know about this and to do it in our real life and in manifestation process. I mean, what advantages can we get in case if we do this lack to abundance process? And why I'm sharing so many examples with you, what is the relevance of it? So let's start. Without any further ado, let's start one by one. First one is that what is meant by lack to abundance process? As the name is self-suggestive, that whenever we are missing something basically. So when we miss something, then naturally we don't feel happy. We look for many ways to get that thing in our life. So sometimes we do hard work, and sometimes we may feel sad as well in case if we don't get it. So when we talk about manifestation process, it says that we can attract the thing which we are looking for in our life with our own manifestation powers. And when I talk about our powers, what I mean is the way we feel and the way we think are our real powers. However, in case if I talk about a real power, that lies in terms of what we feel and how we feel and what is our belief system. So whatever we feel, why is it so? I'm sharing the reason behind that is whatever we feel, that is the frequency of our energy which we generally emit on a daily basis, each and every moment within our life. I've shared a video earlier in which I have mentioned that we are energy beings and we continuously are emitting energy of certain frequency, and what is the frequency of that energy is decided by how we are feeling most of the time, because that is our master dominant feeling. And whatever we feel, we continuously attract the other energies from the environment of the same frequency. So that's why we should take care of our feelings and our thoughts. So when I talk about lack to abundance process and manifestation process, what it means is that no, it doesn't matter whether we are lacking something, but we can attract it very easily by doing creation process, which is one of the very very crucial part of manifestation process. About that also I've shared a podcast in Spotify. If you would like, I'll share a link over here as well with you, and which you can hear and come to know that what creation process exactly is all about. But in briefly here also I've mentioned it. So when we follow lack to abundance process, generally we attract all kind of things by doing certain kind of activities which are part of creation process, wherein out of nothing, sometimes out of nothing, and sometimes with the help of waste stuff which we found in our home, or natural things which are there outside or anywhere in our home as well, which we get just like that, for which we don't have to pay something, or they are waste or they are totally free of cost. So out of them we can create so many different things of our as per our desire. So from them we can create it. Now you may think that in case if we are already creating it, what's the use in manifestation process? Because when we have already created it, why we have to go for manifestation process? Because we have already created it. So the answer is that when we follow lack to abundance process and create various things by following this process, we don't go for perfectionism. We generally try to do certain activities in a fun way and in a very easy manner, via which we get or similar kind of thing, we are able to create similar kind of thing in our life, that also very easily, even though it would not be perfect, but then we get the emotion of manifesting our desire in advance, which is the most important part, one of the most important parts of manifestation process. That besides having constant alignment, besides feeling constantly happy, in case if you are able to feel the desire of end manifestation, we are able to, I mean, we are surely going to get the manifestation very quickly. It's a law. So when we are able to create the stuff which we are interested to have via following lacto abundance process, which is a part of creation process, we tend to get the feeling in advance, emotions and feelings of manifesting that desire in advance, because of which we very quickly effortlessly attract our manifestations which we are looking for. So there are various ways through which we can create things in lacto abundance. One is when I say that we create out of nothing, it means like with the help of imagination we can create it. So because when we are imagining, we are not buying anything, we are not touching anything, just with the help of our sheer thinking, but then we do this thinking or imagination within our own mind in our own favor. We tend to think all the things which are interested to manifest in a way as if they have already manifested, and we tend to feel them again and again. So this process is known as visualization. So out of nothing, with sheer and mere imaginations, we are able to create our manifestation. For example, in case if I or talk about a person who has reached to the moon for the first time, the person who has invented it, he first of all he did the thinking. He didn't just one day he just decided to go and he reached over there. First of all, he had a kind of imagination and thought about it that he can reach to moon, and then further with his imagination, prolonged imaginations, he started taking baby steps, and then he reached to a process through which he reached up till moon. So that was a process, that was an example of imagination. And otherwise also there are so many other examples. In my case also I can tell you another example of my own case, wherein I was thinking and planning to buy a phone, and my father was unwell at that point in time. So even though I did a lot of research for finding out my phone with all the features which I was looking for, but then I was not able to decide it, because there were so many phones and I was taking time. And in the meanwhile, my father left his body and he transitioned for a new role, and then I got involved over there. My vibration got down because of all that, but then with the help of my mentor, I'm so thankful to him for the same. I was able to raise my vibration up because he shared with me, and with his help I got to know that that we never die. Soul is always there and we can communicate with him in case if we raise our vibration. And with his help I was able to raise my vibrations, and I was able to communicate my father also, interact with my father's soul also at that point in time. I got all my answers of whatever I was interested to ask from him, and then I felt happy. I was in relief. And at the time of his antim bhog, when I was not thinking about all that, I was still in better vibration. My vibration got risen up again, and at that time I was gifted a phone by my cousin, and that phone was carrying all the features which I was looking for, and beyond that, which were which were needed by me, but then I just forgot to search them while I was looking for phone. So even those features which I really needed, but then I didn't search about it because I forgot, even they were there in that phone which she has brought for me. And she did not had any single percent idea about what I was looking for. She brought that phone on her own with her own choice. And it's not a case that phone was very expensive. It's a smartphone, it's a really good phone, but then it is carrying all the features which any expensive phone can carry. And that's why I love my phone. But then I'm sharing with you with just my imagination and thinking about that phone, and then raising once my vibration got raised, and then I was able to manifest my phone with the help of imagination only. So it was another example of lack to abundance. Other ways are when we are able to create with very small effort is with the help of drawing. Another one example of lack to abundance. In drawing, we these are fun activities and we feel so good while doing drawings and all that, but then we tend to have that sort of feeling in advance because we fill up colors in that, we fill details in that. So our feelings, our emotions are involved while we are making any kind of drawing, or even if we are watching any person who's making a drawing, that gives us feeling of our desire as if it has got manifested. So in case if we don't have any kind of resistance and we just enjoy the process of drawing and looking at it, we are able to manifest it very quickly. Okay, so this was these were the examples when we are creating something big out of nothing, like imagination with the help of drawing, etc. But then there are other ways also when we are able to create things from waste materials, which we may throw, or which are generally lying in our place just like that, or other things which we generally utilize in a day-to-day basis, but then they're not very expensive. For example, another example is like in case if I take the example of tomato, in case if we feel that they are very expensive nowadays and we may think that we are not able to buy them or something like that. So in case if we try to take out few seeds out of tomato, or in case if we take a rotten tomato which is lying just like that anywhere on the road itself, or maybe even if we are interested to throw any kind of tomato which has got rotten in our home itself, so out of that rotten tomato we get so many seedlings, so many baby plants, and out of which we can grow so many tomatoes. So now you may think, okay, that is okay, but then we don't get immediately, and you're right. But then I want to tell you that once we do this, we get a kind of feeling that yes, we have tomato plant and out of which we are going to get, so we get relaxed. Why I'm saying so, because again I have already explored these processes, and with my own example I got to learn all these things first, and then only I'm sharing with you. And in my case, at the time of my spiritual awakening, which started in 2016 itself, I learned all these processes with the help of my mentor. And at that time I had and still I have so many bunnies to whom I really love from bottom of my heart. So at that time, and at the time of COVID as well, I had so many bunnies. So during that time because I had so many bunnies, so I was not working, and my mother and my parents they have decided that okay, as a part of budget they can give me 1,000 rupees per week, and out of which I have to manage the whole expense in terms of arranging food and all that, and having milk etc. for myself or for my bunnies. So I was wondering how to arrange food for my bunnies at the time of COVID, when COVID was there. And then my mentor suggested that, let's grow plant for them. You can grow plant for them. And then I was thinking, like, I was thinking that what will happen in case even if I grow them, immediately I can't get them. And at that time, how to arrange food for so many bunnies when there was lockdown and all that. So but then I do have a strong faith and belief in my mentor, and I decided to grow them. And that's what I did. I brought there are certain vegetables they generally eat it. So I had karmis leaves and sticks. Karmi is another vegetable which they generally eat. It's a leafy vegetable. So I had sticks of that, so I had grown them. And then apart from that, I brought plants of shahtut, and I grew them as well. And then I was thinking, okay, they will take certain time, but then I am gonna get them very soon. So I got relaxed that it's okay. I grew them right now, so it's okay. Within some time, maybe few months, I'm going to get lots of vegetables for them. So I should not bother about money and all that, and let me have vegetables for them, because in few months I'm gonna get so many more vegetables for them, because of which I need not to buy anything for them later on. So with this thought, I got relaxed, and I went to market, and then I bought certain vegetables without thinking that how much money I'm spending. But then very next day I started seeing magic of that relaxation which I got in my heart, because there were certain vegetable vendors who started approaching me and who offered me cauliflower leaves for my bunnies. And they gave me 1 to 2 sacks full of cauliflower leaves, and that only rupees 40. Not only that, but then also I got other vegetables also at very economical rate, and that also those things were delivered at my home. So this was a kind of magic which I saw once I got relief in my heart. But before that, I was arranging for food for them from outside while going to vegetables market and other places, and I was trying to arrange on my own. But post growing those vegetables in my house, once I got that feeling within my heart that yes, within few months I'm gonna get them in bulk, so it's okay, I can spend it. And just in one day I got to see the result, because I developed a feeling of peace within my heart, that I am going to get vegetables very soon. So this was another manifestation. And apart from that, I can tell you one more manifestation wherein I was looking for buying a purse, and then my mentor suggested why not to make it. And then he shared a video with me, and I saw that video. It was very beautiful video and very interesting as well, thanks to my dear mentor. And because of him only, I have learned everything. Every single bit of my knowledge is shared by him only. So he has very big contribution in my life, just equivalent to my father and beyond. And I'm really and truly thankful to him from bottom of my heart. And everything whatever I'm sharing to you is on behalf of me as well as my mentor. So whenever, if you are ever interested to give me any kind of blessings, give it to him as well, because everything I've learned from him. And I have huge respect and love and deep gratitude for him from bottom of my heart, from every cell of my heart. Okay, so whatever I learned, I have learned from him. So what I was about to tell you is that all this post another, I was telling you example of purse. So with this help I started watching that video, and then I watched that video. It was of only very few minutes, and I really loved it because the process was very easy. And I thought, let me make it, and I thought, let me go to market, and once I'm back I'm gonna make it. But once I was back, post coming back, I got so many purses from my home itself, which I was not aware that they are at my place, even though they were there. And apart from that, when I went outside in the market, I got a purse, a purse toy from Cracks, which I bought for eating. And another example was that, when I went to park along with one of my bunnies to play and to enjoy, so a baby girl came to me, and she gifted me a baby purse, paper purse basically, and she said that, okay, this is for bunny, I have made it for bunny. And there were so many there was paper money inside that, and so many other things in that paper purse. So that time, I didn't know the relevance, but then now I can correlate everything, that how there was a rain of purses in my life. Once, I saw that purse making process, and just before before I could create the original purse, I got so many purse delivered to me in my hand, just by looking that process of purse making video, because I developed that emotion and feeling. I developed that emotion and feeling of my desire already got manifested. There was a relief. So this is how I would like to share that, this is how out of waste thing and out of general things which we find, we can have anything in abundance. Another example I can share with you, like sometimes we look for music and all that, and we don't have, and then we can crave for certain kind of music and all that. But in case if we look around in nature, in outside, we tend to hear so many birds chirping, and voice and voice of water coming out of pipe, or maybe raindrops, or even with the help of spoons and glass, we can have certain kind of sounds with which we can make very creative music. So these are few examples of lack to abundance, and there are so many more which I'll keep on sharing with you in original, either by making on my own, or in case if I get to have interesting videos, I'll share with you as well. So this is the meaning of lack to abundance process, and I've shared a bit of relevance of this process with you. Now let me share a few more advantages of following this process with you. Okay, as I've already shared with you that when we talk about manifestation process, what it generally requires is that we should have a feeling of contentment, feeling of satisfaction to the least. Whatever least we have at any moment, we should feel thankful about that. We should express a gratitude for the same thing. And in addition, in case if you are able to develop the emotion in advance of our desire getting manifested, so in that scenario, it's a law that we are surely going to get our manifested desire in the form of manifestation very soon. Okay, so when we follow this process, lack to abundance process, and we create things via this, we get into alignment. Because when we tend to create thing, from either from waste material or in any way, so we tend to get that feeling that yes, we already have it. Like in my case, when I tried to when I watched that video, and I was I was planning to create that purse, I already got the feeling, and I got that purse, so many purse in the form of manifestation. So I was satisfied, I got aligned, there was a self-alignment. I was happy, I was contented that yes, I know the process, and very easily I can make it. So with this, first advantage is that we get aligned, and that is very very important in manifestation process. And then second thing is we tend to get emotions, feeling of our desire getting manifested in advance, which again is an important part of manifestation process. That in case if we are able to feel the emotion of our desire, feel the emotion of our desire already getting manifested in advance, we are surely going to get manifestation. So again, when we create anything, no matter how imperfect it is not a case that you have to perfectly create the similar thing which you are looking for. You have to create sufficient enough so that you can have a feeling. Okay, so once you have that feeling in advance, you are surely going to get your manifestation. So first thing is that we are able to have self-alignment, because when we create it, we feel happy, we feel contented, we feel satisfied. Second thing is we are able to create emotion in advance. Okay, like for example, in case if the person who has decided to go to moon, he also would have imagined in advance, and then he would have felt, I'm sure he would have felt very very happy post thinking the thought that yes, I have reached moon and I have stepped my foot on moon's ground and all that. So he got that feeling in advance, and because of that feeling only then he was able to take steps, because he was able to develop that frequency, and in return to his frequency he got answers to his prayer, and he got his way to reach out to the moon. Third thing is, one thing is alignment, second thing is we are able to create emotions in advance. Third thing is, which is very very important, very very important, not only in manifestation process but also at the time of our challenges, we are trying, whenever we try to find out any kind of solutions, so it helps in managing our frequency. In this case, I would like to share with you that generally the way we try to find out solution in our life is a human way, which is totally opposite to spiritual way. Why? Because in our case, whenever we get stuck into any kind of challenges, what we do is we generally tend to feel worried, and then we interact with others, we go for networking, and we try to find out solution. But then when it comes to spiritual way of finding any solution, because whatever we feel, that becomes the frequency of energy, so we attract the similar kind of energy from the environment. So keeping this explanation in mind, whenever we get stuck into any kind of challenge, we should never ever detail or milk the challenges which we are facing. Instead, we have to deviate our attention from that challenge. We need not to talk about anything which disturb us, rather we have to elaborate only what we want, and at that time we have to get away from that challenging situation, and we should not think about that challenge at all. Because in case if we start thinking about the problem and the challenge and things related to that, so solution and challenge both have different frequencies, so we cannot get the solution from the same frequency in which we are thinking about the challenges. So for that we have to deviate ourselves, we have to get away from the topic which is disturbing us, and at that time lack to abundance process and all these creation process play a very very big role. Why? Because when we get into lack to creation process, either we get the solution. Like in case if we are looking for something, we are interested to look for a solution, so we imagine the solution which we are looking for, and we try to feel the feeling of our desired manifestation, as if we have already got the solution. So how would we feel at that point in time? Or either we have to get away from the topic completely, because in case if you are going to be worried and we would feel fearful or anxious, so we are going to attract the similar kind of frequency. So our challenge would get exaggerated, which we would not like to have. So at that times, and at that point in time, we have to get ourselves totally deviated from the concerned topic. So when we get into creation process, we feel aligned because we are into creation of something else which we really like. Or sometimes we tend to do certain kind of pending chores of our house. So that way again our attention gets deviated and we feel relieved that okay, we are able to manage the household work. But with that, now you may think that how it is linked to the solution. It is very much linked to the solution, because when we get our attention deviated towards other work which we are doing, and we get relief by doing that process, and we feel happy by doing that process, and we get totally deviated by doing that process from the troublesome area. So in that scenario, our feelings become totally different. Instead of feeling worried, we get deviated towards making certain things or doing some kind of pending work, like in case if we have any alteration work, something has turned out, and then we try to sew that thing, or maybe we have to wash the utensils, or maybe we have to create certain kind of toy, or we have to do certain kind of hobby. We are doing that. So by that, once we get the feeling of relief, and we tend to get deviated, so that feeling of relief is a good frequency, and it attracts other things which can provide us relief. And solution is also and solution also comes in that frequency also, that frequency only, because with solution we feel relief. So automatically those things come in our life on their own, which can provide us relief in terms of solution. So by this, what I mean to say is, it helps in deviating our attention towards solution, and as a part of that, we are able to attract solution as well. So it helps in managing our frequency, which is a very big role. So first one is we get aligned. Second one is that we are able to develop emotions of the manifestation in advance. Third one is it manages our frequency, which is very, very crucial at the time of trying to find out solution of our challenges. Fourth one is it raises our vibration. Whenever we create something which we like, or whenever we do any kind of pending work, or anything which is a part of lack to abundance, wherein we are creating something, we feel good. So when we feel happy, when we feel good, again it raises our vibration, because anything which comes above joy, happiness, peace, and neutrality, so these all feelings comes under high vibrations. So when our vibration get raised, we automatically attract solution in our life, even if we are not able to develop emotion for that thing which we are looking for. Sometimes it's a case specifically at the time of challenges. Sometimes we are not able to develop emotion of the solution which we are looking for. For example, in case if there is any kind of fearful situation for you, and you are not able to feel at all about the desired manifestation emotion, even because you are feeling fearful by thinking about that situation. And even if you are going to feel, even if at that point in time, if you are going to try to feel that emotion, it's not good for you, because internally you are feeling fear, internally you are feeling doubtful. So whatever you feel in real, you attract that. You don't attract anything superficially. What is your feeling, whatever you're feeling, you start attracting other frequency, other energies of the same frequency, whatever is your real feeling. So at that point in time, in case if you just deviate your attention towards creation process and started doing any kind of things, which are part of creation process, just like lacto abundance as well. So that way, because you feel good, in case if it is a hobby work, in case it is something good, so your vibration raises up. And as soon as your vibration get raised, it automatically attracts solution on its own, even if you're not able to develop emotions for that. Okay, even if you're not thinking about the solution, if you are totally deviated from the topic and you are able to raise your frequency in one way or other, there are so many other ways also to raise the frequencies, which I'm going to share later on. But because I'm sharing about lacto abundance process, so as a part of this process, that's what I want to share with you, that with the help of this process, you are able to, and we are able to raise our frequency, which is very very crucial part of manifestation process. Now I have written, actually there were so many points. Okay, so one thing is alignment, second thing is able to create emotions, third thing is it manages our frequency, fourth thing is that we are able to raise our vibration, fifth thing is that we become kind of independent, we feel independent. Because when you are able to get, you get habitual to do lacto abundance process, so that way you become habitual kind of, you train your mind to always find out solution instead of looking at the challenge. That even if this challenge is there, out of nothing I can create everything. I know that even if there are certain waste material on the road, and in case if I'm looking for certain need and I don't have anything, out of that also I can create it, because I know how to create from lacto abundance. So that sort of mindset you start having, and you become kind of solution, you start having a solution oriented mindset. So that way you become completely independent and invincible too. Why invincible? Because generally we become happy. When we become happy and we are able to have that emotion, or otherwise we become happy, we attract solutions in our life. Okay, so in our day-to-day life, most of the time we are dependent for our happiness on things like, if I get this thing then I'll be happy, or we are dependent on external things, situation, people and other things like that. But then when we learn this process and we become solution oriented, so we become invincible. Why? Because even though we don't have any control on external situation, people and things, but then because we know this process, creation process, so we know that with the help of imagination we can create a good solution as well. And with the help of whatever we have available, we can create abundance for whatever we are looking for, and we can get that feeling in advance. So in a way, our dependency on external things, situation and people generally get vanished, because we are able to create on our own in any way. Okay, so that way we become invincible also, because we are able to find out our happiness, we are able to create our happiness on our own, based on, even if it is based on imagination, that yes, I'm gonna get solution very soon. Doesn't matter even if it is not visible, but then I'm surely gonna get it, because I know it is going to have. Okay, so when we explore these things again and again, so we tend to get a kind of belief and confidence as well. Like in my case, I first of all had a deep faith and have deep faith in my mentor, and then I explored this process so many times and I saw so many results, and so because of that, at this point in time I feel confident and I don't feel worried that okay, if I won't follow this thing, then I know that if I follow this, I'm certainly gonna get results, so I feel relief. So in the same way, when you're going to try it, you will also get to know and explore it, and you will also get to know that this works. But for that you have to explore it. So for that only I'm sharing my example, and by looking at me, you can try in your place as well, and make it as your habit to do it regularly, because it really create wonders. And with the help of this, we feel powerful. Why? Because even though we know that we have powers, but many of you might be have not explored it. I know many of you have already explored it, but then many of you, in case if you have not explored it, you can get a chance to explore your power. That how by feeling happy and by creating emotions in advance and by creating things like this, from lack to abundance, from waste material, or from doing any household work or something like that, when you are going to explore it, you will get to see how you're going to get your manifestation come very quickly. And that way you will be also able to realize about your own real power of feeling good, and creating with your own powers, with the help of your thinking good thoughts and feeling good things, and then developing emotions in advance by creating things in advance with the help of lack to abundance process. So with that, you will come to know about your real powers of thinking and feeling and having a good belief system. And as name is self-suggestive, that with the help of this we get into abundance, complete abundance, so much that wherever that no matter how many things are getting so much more expensive, it would not affect you at all, because you are able to create things at your home. For example, if I take example of tomato itself, in case if already a person has grown tomato at home, doesn't matter the cost is going to touch the sky, or no matter how much expensive tomato is, it would not affect to a person who is already having a tomato plant at home, and who is having so many